Well, well, well. If it isn't Stanley E.
Good afternoon, Kevin Fixie. How goes it today?
I'm doing all right. I need to go out and get another pack soon. What can I do for you?
Oh, just a thing here and there. My 2008 Dodge Avenger.
Oh, yes. Know it well, know it well.
Well, there's just, a few minor details that I wonder if we could work on. You've done just a fantastic job, but
Yes.
2008 it's a little old, but the new stuff, oof, it puts a bad taste in the mouth. I'm not sure I can keep it. Oof, but this old 2008 Dodge Avenger, I couldn't dare.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay. So you think you could do something?
Well, what seems to be the problem?
Just little things here and there that you've done.
That I've done?
Yes. Just a few.
If you don't like my work, do it yourself.
Oh, my.
Where are my new suits?
I guess I'll do it myself. Good day, Mr. Kevin Fixie. Bye-bye.
Where do I start?
Where do I start?
Hello, Philip.
Hey, Daniel.
What's new with you?
Nothing. What's crack-a-lackin' with Daniel Cardiff?
Nothing much. What's Ope with Philip Osterday?
Oh. Got it? Get it?
Oh, Ope.
Ope.
Ope. That's a Midwestern thing, for those of you who don't know the Ope.
Oh. So this is classic. Oh,
Oh.
I spittled.
Oh.
Ugh.
Why is that?
Oh.
Oh, you spilled on yourself.
I just spat everywhere. This is classic Countdown Conversations, where we count down the best and the worst that pop culture has to offer when we feel like it.
Hey, when we feel like it. Yeah, I'm Daniel Cardiff.
You already said that.
Well, I said I'm Daniel. I didn't say my last name.
I said you were Daniel Cardiff.
That's true. And you are?
Philip Osterday.
Yeah, and we're your hosts. And we're going to count down some stuff today. I'm going to.
I do nothing today.
Philip's gonna sit there in silence for if this episode goes how the last couple episodes have been going, then about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We'll try to not go that long today, but Philip will just sit there silently and just hear me rant like a lunatic.
I will just sit here.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do.
No, your feedback is why people come back to the show.
Oh.
Like feedback.
Oh.
Get it?
Now I get it.
Yeah, I had to explain it.
I didn't get it at first.
And you're the pun boy.
I'm the pun master generator.
And you didn't pick up on that one. Probably because it wasn't very good.
Maybe that's the
It
problem.
was kind of just the same word again.
Maybe not a pun at all.
It may not have been a pun. Okay, so today I am counting down. If you didn't, I guess last week our intro was pretty straightforward.
It was on the nose.
But this one was a little bit more veiled.
Yeah. In mystery and mostly spooky mystery.
Yeah. If you didn't pick up from our little bit at the beginning, I'm going to be talking about the biggest MCU missteps.
Whoa.
And I guess if you didn't read the title of the episode when you clicked on it, then that's also why you wouldn't know that.
And tell me now.
Yeah.
How is it that you, just a silly man, newly married even, how do you have the credentials to decide what what needs to be fixed in the old MCU?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I'm a big fan of the MCU. I've been around. This is like the one franchise that I've been around for its entirety. Like,
Your whole life?
I'm just mean like Star Wars. There was the original trilogy. I definitely wasn't alive for.
You was dead?
I was dead for the original trilogy.
Is that what you say? You weren't alive yet, but you are dead.
I don't know.
Dead and
don't
first
you have to
were
live
alive
first in order to be dead?
Maybe.
Well, okay, I didn't exist yet before the original trilogy, so I have obviously Star Wars has been a part of my life, my entire life, but I wasn't around for its genesis.
I see.
But the MCU, I have been. I even went to see the first Iron Man in theaters when I was 9 years old. That'll tell you how old I am if you're not entirely sure.
80.
And I'm 80 years old. And I'm a huge comic book fan. I love Marvel. I love Marvel and DC. I don't have any allegiance towards one or the other. But I love the MCU, always have. And I think that overall, it's a really great franchise. But I'm gonna
Butcher it.
I'm gonna butcher it. I'm gonna say everything that sucks about it.
Good.
Not everything.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for me. I mean, I'm sure there are hundreds upon thousands of people already doing this on the internet, but good for me for being bold.
Yeah,
and
I think you might be the first one.
I might be the first person to ever criticize a Marvel movie.
That's right.
And that leads me into my next point. Other than these new the Phase 4 of the MCU, everybody seems to hate. I don't hate it. It's fine.
I like them.
There are some lows, but there's also some really highs.
Have you watched the new Miss Marvel show?
I haven't.
Me neither.
Me and Olivia, that's the one Marvel thing that we haven't gotten around to.
I was watching like the little kids Spider-Man version with my son, and Miss Marvel showed up, and she was all stretchy. I was like, "Is that what the show's about? Is she stretchy?"
So she does have that power in the comics. However, I think in the show,
she's like supposed to be.
I think
super strength or something.
I thought I read something that they toned down on the stretchiness because they didn't want comparisons to Mr. Fantastic.
Because it looks stupid.
It kind of looks weird.
Even in the cartoon version,
you're like, that's dumb.
That looks really
because her fists grow real big.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
She was wafting laughing gas away.
So
with their big man hands.
So let me give you a little history on Miss Marvel.
Philip.
Okay.
Do.
So you know Captain Marvel in the movies, played by Brie Larson.
Yeah.
So she was not the original Captain Marvel in the comic books.
Oh.
There's a guy named Captain Marvel, MAR-VELL.
Okay.
And the Captain Marvel that we know in the MCU was the original Miss Marvel. She was like his sidekick or his partner or something.
Okay.
But then he turned out to either be evil or he died or something.
Okay.
So then she took over in the comic books. She took over as Captain Marvel. And then they're like, well, we got to have a new Miss Marvel. So then that's where this new one that they made the show about came in. I don't know how long she's been around. I don't think it's been super long. Probably within my lifetime.
Is this girl's name like Gorgonzola Lopez or something?
I don't know or care.
Because Brie Larson is a cheese.
Is it cheese?
Brie is a cheese.
Oh.
And then Gorgonzola is a cheese.
So I'm gonna, I'm not gonna take cheap shots at Phase 4 because I think there's some really good stuff. Specifically, Loki.
Loki's great.
And everybody's been bashing on Doctor Strange and Thor, the new ones.
I haven't seen Thor yet.
I think that they're just fine.
My understanding is that Thor, it's like people either love it or they hate it.
It was very goofy.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was expecting it going in, so I was fine with it. And same with Doctor Strange. I was expecting Sam Raimi's directing style, and that's what I got. And I think that's why a lot of people were turned off to is because they weren't it doesn't feel like a regular MCU movie because it's Sam Raimi.
But who wants another regular stupid Marvel movie?
Yeah. yeah. So
I
there's.
mean, who even wants to talk about Marvel anymore?
I do right now. I'm gonna do a whole list of it.
Oh.
But I'm not talking about Phase 4 at all. Even though I think we both would love to just rip into the Eternals.
Rip it. Rip it and grip it.
Rip it and grip it, baby. And I
don't know what that means, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if it means something inappropriate, that's not what we meant. But yeah, not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna go back to the first 3 phases, Philip. The Infinity Saga.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk about the biggest missteps within that saga. We good?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm.
Audience, are you good?
Yeah, we're great.
Oh, great.
Whoa, it's so loud.
That was
How
like
many...
a collective. Everyone said that.
Y'all have a high voice.
They warped time and space in order to do that. Okay, so no honorable mentions.
Good.
I'm just jumping right into the list.
Good.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of these movies I haven't seen in a while. So maybe if I were to go back and rewatch, from the first, all 23, there's 23 of them.
That's a lot of movies.
Then maybe I'd find some other things that I don't like very much.
It's at least 23 hours.
Probably definitely double. I'm also not going to be touching on any TV shows. So none of like the Netflix stuff, none of the like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, of course not.
No Agent Carter.
Nah.
None of that stuff. Just the movies, the 23 movies.
Now, do you, in Phase 4, do you think that the TV shows are more...
They're like kind
legit?
of part of the phases.
Yeah.
However, it seems like the Netflix shows are canon now.
Who knows?
They've brought spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye, but Daredevil and Kingpin from those shows were in it.
Same actors.
So they're either canon or they take place in an alternate reality, but like a very close alternate reality to where the people still look the same.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Kevin Fixie does.
Kevin Fixie, tell us. Tell us if it's the same universe or a parallel one. All right. Number 10.
Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Sorry.
I
did it again. Just trying to rub my eyes here.
Now, as a big fan of the Marvel movies and as someone who drives for a living, I have a lot of time to think about this stuff, Philip.
Okay.
So to answer your question earlier, that's why those are my credentials.
You get to drive.
I get to drive and think about this stuff a lot. And one of the things I've kind of thought about is there are some very good points in these movies that would have made a lot of sense to introduce certain superheroes from the comics that they just didn't.
Okay. Give me one example.
Okay, so one example is in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
They get apprehended and arrested by the Nova Corps, right? Well, in the comic books, Nova is a superhero, and he's part of that police force, but he also has powers.
Okay.
And I remember back when the Guardians of the Galaxy came out and the Nova Corps was in it, I was like, oh, sweet, they're going to introduce Nova into these movies.
No.
And almost 10 years later, we haven't got anything from Nova. And it's just kind of bothered. I was like, why? That you had a perfect chance to do it. He's a really unique and fun character, and they just didn't do that.
Do you think that they were like afraid to add too many crazy characters?
I think when you make a movie with a talking raccoon and a talking tree, and then there's a guy that flies around and shoots lasers, that seems very like grounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
So I don't think at that point they were like, I don't think people are ready for Nova.
I don't know.
We had Rocket and Groot at that point. So I'm not going to go into all of them.
Excuse my drinking noise. My throat is like a...
You okay? Have you been smoking some cigarettes?
Maybe somebody's been smoking cigarettes in my mouth at night.
But yeah, I'm not going to go into all of them because I think that might actually make a good list at some point. If I
Okay.
were to like do like 10 heroes that I think could have
They
come
could have been
into
in
the
there.
Infinity Saga.
Okay.
But there's a little sneak peek. Nova will be on the list at some point
Nova.
when I do it. But yeah, there's a lot of times I think like Iron Man 3, there's a character you could have introduced. One of the Thor movies, there's definitely a couple characters you could have introduced.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's just like, you missed an opportunity, Marvel.
You
So
fools.
you fools, just do it. Who cares about copyright things and whatnot? Just do it. And I'm not talking about like, obviously, like they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man until they got him. They didn't have the rights for X-Men Fantastic Four until just recently. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about like Marvel characters that they definitely had the rights to. They just didn't bring in for some reason. So
you could have paid to get him. Could have paid. Stan Lee.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Like you guys are probably the richest studio in the world. So that's my number 10. It's not a huge one because it's like it works just fine without the heroes, you know, the Infinity Saga does.
But you want them.
But I want them. I want them there. It would have made the end game battle even cooler if there were a few more heroes flying around. Okay. My number 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dull villains.
Dull villains.
Yeah. Now I think once they entered into phase 3, this got fixed.
Okay.
Because phase 3 is when we got like Zemo, Vulture, Ego, Hela, Killmonger, Claw, Thanos, Mysterio. We got all those, and
yeah,
that's like almost the top. Those are like some of the best ones, you know, in the entire franchise. But phases 1 and 2, with a couple of exceptions, like Loki and Ultron. Justin Hammer's pretty good, and anyone in the Winter Soldier, because it's almost like a perfect movie. All those villains are fine, but there are so many just like forgettable or lackluster villains in phases 1 and 2. You have like Whiplash. Do you even remember Whiplash?
Yeah, what movie is that from?
Iron Man 2. No. You have the Frost Giants.
The Frost Giants.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna see how many of these you
Frost
remember.
Giants is probably Thor.
Yeah, the first Thor. Do you remember the main one's name?
No.
Laufey. That's right. Loki's name is Laufeyson because Laufey's actually Loki's father.
Oh. Well, it's Laufeyable.
It's Laufeyable how forgettable it is.
Yeah.
You have Aldrich Killian.
Iron Man.
Which one?
3.
Yeah, good job.
Just guessed.
Malekith.
No.
I could probably just be making up names.
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't know. That doesn't sound like a name. I don't think that's a name.
It is. It's the main villain of Thor 2.
I thought you just gave me a Thor.
Yeah, that was the first Thor.
Oh, gosh.
Malekith the Accursed.
Really?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's like a elf.
I don't think I watched Thor 2.
You've seen it.
No, I don't think I have.
Okay.
I think the only Thor movie I've seen is the third one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the first one?
Maybe some
where
of
he
the
gets
first
banished?
One. I think I have seen the first one.
He's in like New Mexico?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I've seen the second one though.
Yellow Jacket.
That's gotta be the second Ant-Man.
No, the first Ant-Man, but good job.
Okay.
So yeah, but
Yellow Jacket's pretty silly.
But could you? He's just so boring.
Yeah.
He's so boring. Could you tell me what any of their plans are? What their personalities were?
Well, it seems like most of them are like just the main superhero, but different.
But different, yeah. And even villains that I would say are like passable villains, like Obadiah Stane from the first Iron Man, Red Skull, Abomination, Ronin from the first Guardians movie. Like they're all like passable,
yeah,
but they're not
interesting.
They're not. There's so much like wasted potential with them.
Well, it's like they hadn't figured out like, oh, like a bad guy should have like some sort of emotional core.
Yeah, right. Like I think with Ronin, it works because all the heroes are so silly. It's kind of funny that the villain is just like pure evil in the first Guardians, but you still could have done a little bit more interesting with him.
Yeah.
But then yeah, you jump from the first Guardians to the second with Ego, and Ego's like super interesting.
Yes.
And so I don't know, like just they could have done some more work on their villains in the first two phases and really fleshed them out. Don't kill them off so quickly. So many villains just die like right away, you know? That's why like at the end of the first Thor, Loki kind of drifts off into space. And I thought he died when I first watched it. I was like, oh, that's a waste.
Yeah.
But then he like shows back up in the post credits. I was like, oh, good. He like finally they didn't kill somebody off. Or even like,
do you know if that was like, had they planned on killing him off, and then they're like, oh man, Tom is so good at this.
That I don't know. I know in the comic books, the movie Avengers is kind of a combination between the original comic books and the Ultimate comic books. The lineup is more comparable to the Ultimate comic books because Captain America actually wasn't in the first Avenger group.
Oh, geez.
He came in on like issue 4, I want to say. They like found him in the ice in issue 4.
Ooh.
But then the villain in the original comic book was Loki.
Okay.
That they all banded together to defeat. So I think that was probably planned from the get-go. Like, we'll have Loki be the main first villain because it was comic book, accurate. But yeah, they just like, I think we actually did a video a while ago that we never put out about the first Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
And one of my things was like, Obadiah Stane should have stayed around for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting if he had been the villain of like Iron Man 2. Like he kind of carried over. I think that would have been really good. But yeah, so I think just lots of wasted potential with the villains up until Phase 3. And even still with Phase 3, you get like the Doctor Strange villains aren't all that interesting. Dormammu's cool, but he's in it for like 5 minutes. And his Caecilius, his like right-hand guy, is kind of boring and stuff like that. So Phase 3 isn't without its faults either. I can't even tell you what the villain's name in Captain Marvel is. So I've only seen that movie once.
I don't even... Well,
I know it's Jude Law.
They think it's the Skrulls. Or the Skrulls.
Yes, good job.
Skrulls?
Yes. Yeah, Skrulls. And then it turns out to be
Jude Law.
The Kree. It turns out to be Jude Law as the villain. Other than the Skrull, it's Jude Law. So that's my number 9.
Okay.
My number 8. Speaking of villains.
Okay.
So, in the comic books, there's a group of villains. They're kind of like the Marvel's version of like the Injustice Gang.
Okay.
It's like when kind of one of each of the main heroes' villains form a team.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a mirror. You were just talking about how like sometimes the villain's just like a mirror opposite of the hero. Well, this is interesting because it's a team.
Okay. It's the Bovengers.
It's the Bovengers.
Because they're bad?
Yes. No, they're called the Masters of Evil.
Oh, well, almost just as bad of a name.
Almost just as corny of a name. But yeah, like I think and I think where you could have fit it in was Age of Ultron. I think that's probably the only time, because after Age of Ultron, it really becomes like the Thanos show. It becomes very cosmic and stuff. I feel like Age of Ultron probably would have been the prime time to do maybe like Ultron.
Bands them together.
Change it to where like maybe Ultron, since he's a robot, he's unable to kill, so he pulls strings with the villains in order to fight the Avengers while he's doing his plan or something like that. Because they're prior to what I just said, there are some villains that live throughout the movies. Like Abomination doesn't die. You have like Crossbones that from Winter Soldier that you could have brought in. So people like that.
What's his name?
Crossbones.
His name's Crossbones.
The guy, you know who I'm talking about?
Like a bad metal name.
Like a bad metal name. Yeah, he's always listening to hardcore metal music. He's the guy that...
Hey, you ever heard of my band called Crossbones? play metal so good.
Maybe honestly, the Masters of Evil kind of sounds like a
Yeah.
metal band too. maybe they band together.
Ah.
But then they just realize that they're all really good musicians and they just become a rock band. And Ultron's like, no.
You fool.
So yeah, so there were some villains that you could have brought together to make the MCU's version of Masters of Evil. To have also, because like Age of Ultron ends up kind of just being, the last battle is just kind of the same as the first Avengers last battle,
Yeah.
which is like a army of faceless drone.
Nothings.
You know, first one it's aliens, second one it's robots. Like instead of that, make it like the Avengers have to fight a team of villains.
Do you feel like, based on what we know of what's happening in the next few movies, that's kind of what will happen?
Well, they just announced a Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm not too familiar with the Thunderbolts. If I have it right, it's more anti-heroes.
Okay. But then there's the Secret Wars. Isn't that kind of like that? Like it's just a bunch of bad guys against a bunch of good guys?
Secret War, yes, but I think that they're going to do a multiversal Secret Wars based on all the multiverse stuff that's going on.
True.
So I think if I'm not, well, I'm going to put my prediction here now 3 years in advance for what Secret Wars is going to be.
Good.
And we'll come back in 3 years and see how wrong it was. There's a villain in the comics called Beyonder who orchestrates the Secret Wars. However, I think they're going to switch him out for Kang.
It seems like it.
And Kang is going to orchestrate a multiversal Secret Wars where I bet he's going to make superheroes fight alternate versions of themselves. So that way you could bring like Toby and Andrew back as Spider-Man. Maybe they have to fight Tom this time, stuff like that. I think that's probably what they're going to do with it instead. The Thunderbolts, I'm assuming, is going to be like the Avengers, but they do more violent things for the government.
It'll be a Netflix movie kind of thing.
Maybe, yeah. But I think they're bringing back like U.S. Agent from Winter Soldier, Falcon the Winter Soldier, the like fake Captain America.
Yes.
I think he'll be in it. Probably Black Widow's sister is going to be in it, stuff like that.
Oh, is it what
For Thunderbolts.
Elaine from Seinfeld's doing?
I think she's pulling together the Thunderbolts, yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Nice.
That'll
We
be-
figured it out just now.
Yes. Feige's like, crap. Because he's so like secretive with his stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Sucker.
So that's my number 8. I think The Masters of Evil was a wasted opportunity that I don't really think they can do now. I think they kind of missed their window to do it.
Wait, no, not phase. What do we call rounds?
Phase.
Do they have phases?
Phase 1, 2, and 3 are the Infinity Saga. Phases 4, 5, and 6 will be the multiverse saga.
Well, they need to conjoin. I guess it was the Infinity Saga, the sagas. So Saga 3 will be that.
3 what?
It'll be the third saga. Will include whatever you.
Oh,
just
the
said.
Masters of Evil. But then it's like you've defeated Thanos and Kang at that point. I think you could probably defeat some minor villains that you've defeated.
It'll
in
be
the
just
past.
a little baby movie.
So yeah, I think they missed their window for the Masters of Evil.
Right.
And if they do it now, it won't make any sense.
Maybe.
My number 7.
7
is cramming too much into certain movies.
I could see this.
Yeah, I think for the most part they've done really well at streamlining their movies and making them very like enjoyable, very simple, very straightforward. Speaking of Age of Ultron, I think there's a couple things, even though I just said that you should have added the villain subplot into it. There's like a whole subplot where like Thor goes off on his own little adventure.
Yeah.
Like, cut that out.
Cut that out.
Honestly, like, because his whole thing is like he goes and finds out about the Infinity Stones in Age of Ultron. But really, Thor could have just known about them.
He just knows.
He's from space, so
He's
like
a spaceman.
if when Ultron breaks open the scepter and gets the Mind Stone and puts it in Vision, Thor could have been like, "Oh no,
Ruh-roh.
it's the Infinity Stones," and then like explain to the Avengers then and there what they are. instead of going off in this whole like subplot about
Yeah.
getting in water and I don't know, very dumb. I think as much as I love Captain America Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I've always, ever since this movie came out, I've always held this opinion on it. I think they should have split up. They should have made Captain America 3 about proving Bucky's innocence. That plot of Civil War.
Okay.
And then just made Civil War its own movie.
Oh.
Just like Avengers Civil War or Marvel Civil War or something like that, to where it's just completely focused on the division of the Avengers. Because it's a little, it's a good movie, but it's a little bloated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iron Man 2, there's way too much in that movie. It's pretty much all just set up for future movies.
Yeah.
So there's just some of the movies they just tried to cram too much into. And I just wish they hadn't done that.
Why you do this?
Why you do this, Marvel?
Why?
And yeah, I think it's like...
They learned from their mistakes, it seems.
Except for Eternals.
Except for Eternals. I don't know what happened with Eternals.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the one I'm forgetting about? Oh, Shang-Chi. I forgot about. Yeah.
Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi's fine. I have no strong feelings about Shang-Chi one way or the other.
The only problem with Shang-Chi that I have is the ending is just like a normal Marvel movie. Like,
yeah,
he's gonna fight a big thing.
Yeah,
and save the world.
And they kind of screw the pooch on the fate of the villain in that movie. I actually don't like his fate.
The dad?
Yeah, because he kind of gets out. Like spoilers for Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
he dies.
Yeah,
and it's like you should have like had to pay for your consequences.
Yeah,
death is too easy for you.
Yeah, you should have like had to go inside of the horrible pit.
Yeah,
something.
I don't know, and it was a little anticlimactic for my taste.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you just kind of died. You don't really get resolution with your family at all.
We don't like this guy.
We need a dragon fight.
Yeah,
get this guy out of here. We need a big CGI dragon fight. So that was kind of like, but
he had to get rid of those rings, so he had to die.
Oh, but he could have just given them to his son and lived.
He could have.
This is what this whole episode's about, is what they could have done. But we're not talking about phase 4, we're talking about phase 3. Anyways, I think some of the movies just shoved a little too much in there. And when you look at the Infinity Saga, it's a pretty good meal.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things you're like, oh, is there hair in this? Yeah. I'm not the type of person that like completely won't eat a dish if there's a hair in it. I kind of just pick it out.
Yeah.
I think about it for a few seconds and then I eat again. It's like that. It's like,
I eat the hair.
And then it's like, it's gross. And it's like, oh, I asked this without mushrooms. I'll pick it off. Just kind of that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still a good meal, but there's a few things in there that I didn't want.
Yeah.
Or that if you had done it differently, it would have even been a better meal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like I wanted it well done, but it was medium rare.
Or it was everything pizza and you just wanted a pepperoni pizza.
Yes.
It's like, well, it's good, but man, I just want a pepperoni.
I just wanted pepperoni. Yeah, that's actually good because they put too much.
Yeah.
There's too much.
It's just too much.
But if it was just because like I said that they just needed to split Civil War into 2 movies, if you just make it a bigger pizza, it's still good. You can have more leftovers.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if it's still working or not, but anyways.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, so that's my number 7.
Okay.
My number 6.
Okay.
More people need to die.
Oh.
In these movies.
But not the bad guys.
Not the bad guys, the good guys.
The good guys need to die.
More good guys need to die in these movies. Because
there needs to be consequences.
Otherwise, why do I care?
That's true.
Why do I care that the world's about to end if nobody dies?
Unless we know that they're going to die in Avengers.
What? What are you talking about?
We know that they're going to die. We knew that somebody was going to die in the last...
In Endgame? Yeah, Endgame. Obviously. But, like, Okay, like let's go through. And I'm talking about like major players need to die, not like sure, like the guy who helps Iron Man get out of the cave, he dies.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's a good death.
Yeah.
And that gave that scene and that movie some more heart to it, right? But
Keep killing people. So
What?
that's what you're saying.
Huh?
Don't just stop at one. Keep going.
Don't just stop at one. So like
Captain Marvel dies.
right off. The second she opens her mouth, she dies.
Yeah, they're like, oh, overpowered, die.
No, I don't know. I've only seen that movie once. I can't. I just remember I didn't like it very much, but I can't say that she's like the worst character in the world.
Problem is her powers.
She's too OP.
Yeah.
But like, okay, the first Avengers movie, right? Agent Man, Phil Coulson
Yeah. Oh, yes.
gets stabbed.
Yep.
That was good. Good
Dies.
death.
Dies.
He dies. But then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. brings him back.
Does he come back to life?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
bring him back to life. It's like, okay, well, that sacrifice, or that, like,
That moment was worthless.
that moment's worthless. Civil War. Rhodey gets shot out of the air, falls to the ground. Should have died.
Should have died.
Yeah.
Though they're like, oh, he's our one black guy.
But
Right
but
now.
actually not. There's two other black guys in that movie.
Are there?
Falcon and Black Panther.
Is Falcon in that movie?
Yeah.
And Black Panther.
Yeah. And they let the elderly one live.
Should have killed him off.
I remember being in the theater and there's a big gasp when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
And I think because everybody was thinking, crap, so he died. And then when the AI's like,
Your legs are broken.
oh yeah, it's like, yeah, life signs little but still there or something. I like audibly heard people be like, what? Because it was so like,
This doesn't make any sense.
yeah, it was so like, oh. And if you read the Civil War comic, there actually is one lone casualty of the Civil War. Like,
Okay.
there is actually someone who ends up dying in the...
Who is it?
Remember in Ant-Man 2, Lawrence Fishburne?
Oh.
The black guy?
I know who he is, but I don't remember him being in it.
Okay.
Oh, yes. He
And
like helps he's like trying to help
ghost.
the ghost lady.
Yeah. And him and Scott Lang have a conversation about how he, back in like the 90s, grew big.
Yes.
Okay, so in the comic books, he's a character called Goliath.
Nice.
And he ends up dying in the Civil War story.
I'd like some more Lawrence Fishburne.
I know,
please.
yeah, I would too. He was good in that movie. But it's like, if you're really gonna make this dark chapter of the Avengers splitting on an argument and like really like falling out,
Murder
make
some
it
folks.
make it dark and yeah, make someone die and then it like really gives a lot of weight to like
Yeah.
why they fell apart. I don't know. There's just a few times in these movies where it's like, yeah, you should have died. More people need to die. And even like okay, spoilers again if you haven't seen Infinity War and Endgame. Loki technically dies, but then a version of Loki is what the Loki show is about, you know?
Yes.
It's a variant.
Yes.
And I'm fine with that because I like the show so much. But now like Vision's technically back in the form of like the White Vision.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's
So
just
we
like
haven't seen him.
Gamora's back.
Gamora.
It's
More
a
like
it's a
Galessa, please.
get less of that character in these movies, please.
Yeah, that would be like. I mean, I think people would be sad,
But that was a good.
but that was a good death.
That's a good moment in Infinity War. It's undercut a little bit by the fact that just another version of her is out there
Yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of the issue with having the multiverse in general is it's like, well, we can always bring somebody back.
Right, and that's why I think like at the end of this multiverse saga, they need to either like they just need to be like the universes can't contact each other anymore. Something needs to happen.
It seems like they're leading towards that, like having the multiverses overlap was an issue.
Right, and they need to get back to where you can't just hop over to another one and
Yeah.
bring them over.
So hopefully that's the
I hope so. Because I don't want them to be like all the multiverses go into one universe because then like that means that like Toby and Andrew Spider-Man will die.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't
Yeah.
want that, but it's just like make sure that you can't contact them
Yeah.
anymore or something like that.
But then you can but then the issue is they're like, well, we need an Iron Man movie. We'll just put it in a different universe.
Yeah.
And
I know.
and then it's the same issue.
The multiverse is, they're writing themselves in a little bit of a hole with it.
Idiots.
I like the idea of it, but it does create problems. so yeah, so more death. More death. And I'm surprised that didn't make it higher up on my list, but more death, please. Even I know this is gonna be horrible, but like shows like some civilians dying. You know what I mean? Like if we really need to care about these big threats, we need to also worry about not just the Avengers' lives, but like the lives of the people that they're trying to save.
I'm assuming that's because of the PG-13 ratings. That
Probably. And I know, I mean, they do, like, in the Avengers, it's mentioned that, like, Loki killed 80 people and 80. Well, that's before the Battle of New York, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many people die in that. Okay. But so there's always implied death.
Yeah, but it's not seen death.
But we never see it.
It doesn't feel weighty.
It doesn't feel weighty, no.
They're just pawns in our
movies. Maybe like show like a graveyard that they had to make because of the Battle of New York. Yes. Something like that, towards like, oh, and you see like the number. Yeah. You physically see it. Someone's saying like 80 people. Yeah. That doesn't really get you there. But if you were to see like a graveyard of like 2,000 gravestones because of the Battle of New York, you'd be like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that was a big tragedy that happened.
For some reason, that feels like that should have been in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Didn't they do something? They like went to a gravesite.
I don't remember. That was my least favorite of the Disney Plus shows. So I don't really remember.
Me too.
I'm glad we agree. All right, we're heading into the top half of the list.
Okay.
Number 5.
Okay.
Hulk being sidelined.
Oh.
And and everyone's gonna think I mean one thing when I say this, but I don't mean that thing. Everybody hates Professor Hulk. I love Professor Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
I think
people don't like him?
No, everyone's like, they've nerfed our boy. They've massacred our boy. He's not Hulk anymore. Oh. It's like that is the logical and satisfying conclusion to that character. Is that he eventually makes it work, that he can be both
there.
They're both there and they're both useful.
Yes.
So that's not what I mean. What I
wish
mean
that it was like the comics where he was like crazy smart. I mean, he is pretty smart.
Yeah, he's not as smart as Tony.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I'm fine with, like, Tony in the comics isn't the smartest person alive. It's typically Mr. Fantastic is. Yeah. But I'm fine in the MCU, Tony being kind of like the smartest man alive. I'm fine with that.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it would have been interesting if they played into Bruce's intelligence a little bit more in those movies. But so speaking of that, what I mean by Hulk being sidelined is, and again, this isn't a perfect world that I'm living in where these things are fixed, right? So in our real reality, Universal holds the rights to a solo Hulk movie.
Right.
To the I think they have to produce it or something.
Okay.
However, they can't do it without more. Like it's like a thing where like neither one of them can make it really without the other one.
I see.
So Marvel has just been like, we're just not gonna have to work with another company, so we're just gonna do it this way.
So they made a Thor movie that was
basically Planet Hulk comic. Which I'm fine. I'm fine with that being a Thor movie. But we, other than the Incredible Hulk, we never got another Hulk movie.
Yeah.
And he's one of the core. He's probably like the 4th main Avenger.
That's true. He just got whisked away.
Yeah, he's just always like, and I like him in the Avengers movies and in, showing up in other people's things. But like, I think we could have gotten a really good couple movies with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk as the main character.
You do miss out. Like all the other movies have that backstory for each of the characters. Each of those characters. And I mean, you kind of get it with Bruce Banner, but not fully.
Yeah, and the Incredible Hulk, it's like the opening credit sequence is kind of it's like flashes of how he became the Hulk. Mm-hmm. Which I'm fine with it not being an origin story. That's fine.
And that is that's canon, correct?
That is canon. The Incredible Hulk is canon. Even though it's a different actor. Yeah, it is canon. But it's like let's say because all the other main Avengers got or at least the main three, got trilogies. So let's just say Hulk got his own trilogy, right? That'd give us 2 other movies to kind of just delve into his character, see like him desperately trying to like either not get rid of the Hulk because that was what Incredible Hulk was, but live in harmony with both Bruce and the Hulk. See how it affects his personal life.
Right.
That's just stuff that we never like got in the MCU, which I think would have been interesting and made us care a little bit more. But yeah, I think
your boy Hulky.
my boy Hulk didn't get enough screen time. I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen him gotten his own trilogy.
Would have been nice.
I think it would have been very nice.
But he didn't. But he didn't.
He didn't. Also, you know what I am not liking about I saw a TV spot or something for the new She-Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Or She-Hulk show, sorry. And he's in it.
Right.
But he has both arms. Both arms are like,
oh right, because he put the glove on.
and I really liked, because I remember the Russo brothers who directed Infinity War and Endgame, they said this is a permanent injury.
Oh.
And I thought that was really interesting that like Hulk had to make a sacrifice for the, like, I love the idea that Endgame was, a lot of people had to make sacrifices in that movie. Like,
I'm assuming the show's after Endgame for sure, right?
yeah, oh yeah, I would assume so. Unless
maybe it's not.
Maybe it's if it's during the 5 years between Thanos dying and them finding out time travel.
Yeah.
That'll be fine with that.
Who knows?
Who knows? But I don't think it will be. And I really liked the idea that Hulk had a permanent injury. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. And I thought that was interesting that like he had to live with that for the rest of his life, but it was fine because he brought back half of all of life.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but they're going back on it.
Unless they're not.
Unless they're not. I guess we'll see. Something else that bothered me at the end of Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
He's just Bruce Banner. He's not Hulk.
Oh, right.
He's not Professor Hulk.
That did put a little, I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. He had his arm in a cast, which I liked.
Yep.
But he was just regular Bruce Banner. And I was like, no. The point is that he's Professor Hulk now. He's both. I don't know.
Maybe he did something.
What?
Maybe he figures out how to fix his arm. And then he becomes Hulk again. Professor Hulk again.
Maybe. But just leave it be.
But he is Professor Hulk in that She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Very confused.
I know. Yeah. I don't know what Marvel's doing, but
what are you fools doing?
So yeah. So I wanted more of the Hulk in the Infinity War saga. I think it would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
Yep.
Number 4.
Yeah.
It is.
What do you think it is? Sure, guessing.
I should have been guessing this whole time.
Yeah, you should have been. You're not gonna get it.
Second Black Panther movie.
No.
Before Michael B. Jordan died.
No. Well, you got the actor wrong.
That's the bad guy.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman died.
No.
Well,
my number 4.
I was close.
Is. So remember I was telling you. Remember earlier when I was talking.
I remember earlier.
And I said that the original lineup for the Avengers did not have Captain America in it.
Yeah.
So this was the original lineup, Philip.
Okay.
You're gonna be awestruck.
Okay.
Iron Man.
Yes. Awestruck.
Hulk.
Okay.
Thor.
Okay.
So that was right. Those 3 were correct, right?
Yes.
Ant-Man.
Okay.
And the Wasp.
The Wasp.
Those were the first 5 Avengers. The Wasp was even the one that named the group.
Oh. Is it a girl in the comics, the Wasp?
Yeah.
Is it his lady friend?
Well, here's the thing. So, in the movies, Michael Douglas.
Michael Dougie.
It plays Hank Pym.
Yeah. Hank Pym's the original.
Hank Pym, yes, is the
Hank
original.
Pym.
And that
is that what I said?
Yeah, you said something weird. I think you said Hank Pym. Him and his wife, Janet. So not Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Or Lost Girl.
Yeah.
Not them. It was
Lost Girl.
It was Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer's characters from the Ant-Man movies.
Yes.
They were the originals. And here's my gripe.
Uh-huh.
I wish that they had been in it earlier.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Like, as in, not old. I wish that they were the same ages as, like...
So you're saying you wish that Michael Douglas was the actual original Ant-Man that we're introduced to.
I wish that it wasn't Michael Douglas, because Michael Douglas is old. I wish they had picked a different actor, a younger actor, the same age as, like, Captain America, Thor, and all that. Paul Rudd, maybe. Although I can't really see him being, like, a smart scientist like Hank Pym is supposed to be.
That's true, yeah.
Actually, you know what would have worked? And I know this is like hindsight is 2020. But with Mark Ruffalo replacing Ed Norton as Hulk and me liking Mark Ruffalo more, Ed Norton actually would have been a pretty good Hank Pym, young Hank Pym, I think.
But would you want a whole movie of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what's interesting about them is that they're a married couple.
That's true. It's the only...
A lot of the time, Hank is a pacifist, which is an interesting angle to have with a superhero. And Wasp is kind of the, like, feisty, go-getter. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Now in the comics, he does beat her.
Okay, what?
So I wouldn't want to go into that aspect of the comics, obviously.
Like, it's okay?
It's like one famous issue, he hits her in the face.
Jeez.
Yeah, they should have changed his name to Hank.
Okay. Okay.
So I wish that they had been a part of the original Avengers lineup in the movies.
Yeah, I like that.
And what you can do, because that would have added 2 more to the already 6 originals.
Oh, so you want to like
include them? Yes.
So not take away anybody.
No, yeah, just have. But what you could have done is if you made Hank a pacifist, then it would have just been Wasp, and Hank could have just been like, maybe Hank's the one that's mind controlled in the first Avengers and makes the portal.
Okay. Yeah, that would make more sense because he's kind of smart.
Yeah, and the Wasp is like, her mission is more personal because she's just trying to get her husband back.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and then just seeing their journey throughout the movies, because I really love those 2 characters, and I'm a little sad that they're not as main as they are, and I don't like them being elderly.
It's old fools.
So that's my and also in the comic books, Hank Pym is the one that creates Ultron. It's not Tony Stark.
Right.
So it would have been nice to have had it, not that Tony Stark, like, you could have still made Tony Stark be the one that made Ultron, but at least have Hank Pym, like, be a part of that story. Just as, you know,
he's
nods to the comics. He's there. He helps out because Bruce Banner helped out with Ultron. Maybe Hank also helped him out.
Yeah.
But it was mainly Tony. Because Tony is the one that's, like, manipulating Bruce Banner into doing it in the movie. So it definitely was Tony's screw up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What an idiot.
What an idiot he is. Okay.
Was that 4?
That was number 4.
Wow. We're here.
I know. We got 3 more. You ready?
I'm ready. Oh my gosh.
Oh my word. Whoa.
Hey.
Tommy, how are you doing?
Oh, you know me. You know me. I'm always so good. It's a good night. It's a good night to be podcasting with my boys.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. What do you got for us?
What? Well, I mean, you kind of threw it on me real quick.
Not actually, though.
It's not like I've been preparing. It's not like I've been preparing.
Oh, man, if only people could see your little winks at us through the podcast medium.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Daniel, guess what?
What?
Today I learned that Nike created a pair of shoes that were so advanced they were banned from the Olympics because they were considered as technological doping. The alpha flies are the shoe that broke running, in quotes, as sports scientist Dr. Ross Tucker called them. Contain
Tucker Carlton.
Tucker called them. Contain tech designed to deliver great energy return.
Wow.
So I bought these shoes today.
Oh, they're available now?
They're available right now.
Okay.
But they are cheating. But you know me, I'm a cheater. You know me, I'm cheating. I'm cheating all the time. I tried running. Felt great.
Yeah.
Felt great.
Well, I realized that you didn't ride your motorcycle here today. Did you run here?
I mean, yeah. You've caught me. I ran here.
How fast did you get here?
I got here so fast.
Yeah. What time did you leave?
I left. Let's see. Maybe like.
It is 9 o'clock now. What time did you leave?
It's 9 o'clock now. So 1.
You left at 1.
1, 2.
2 o'clock.
I'm trying to count it. Can you help? Little Tommy here, just having a 1.
Well, what?
2. So
3.
Oh, 3
Okay.
and
So it took you 3 hours to get here,
man, I don't know.
but you only live like a 5-minute walk.
What?
Yeah.
What? How? What's after 3?
4.
Okay. So maybe 5.
5 hours.
Maybe I went the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think I might have gone I think these shoes are great, but maybe I went the wrong way.
Because if I were to just head east and walk, I'd get to your house in 5 minutes.
Huh. You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Why have I been riding my motorcycle this whole time? I didn't know about this. What route do you go?
Just right up 48.
Oh my.
Yeah. Do you go, which way do you go?
I go down 675.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's way out of the way, bud.
Yeah, I don't know what I've been doing. Oh my. So anyways, it was great seeing you guys.
Yeah. Good seeing you too, Tommy.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
See ya in forever.
Oh, all right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tommy. I've been wasting so much gas.
I don't get how he came to that.
I figured he was just going on like some errands and then coming here.
That's what I thought so too. Because he texts us every time, says I'm on my way.
Yeah, then it takes like at least 15, 20 minutes. It's pretty crazy.
No, I have no idea.
What an idiot.
Oh. All right. Number 3.
Okay.
I think these top 3 I've talked to you about quite a bit.
Okay.
Number 3 is I wish that they had made a 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy before Infinity War. Reason being is because, and I don't know if you even know this, but chronologically in the timeline of the Marvel movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, even though they came out 3 years apart, they only take place 3 months apart from one another.
Yikes. Is that... Wait, what? Say that one more time so my brain can comprehend what you just said.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 came out like in our time 3 years apart, right?
Yes. Oh, okay.
2014, 2017.
I heard that, but I thought you meant all of the whole movies. All of the movies.
No.
I was like, whoa, wait. That doesn't make any sense.
You're like, but Captain America took place in the 40s. No. The 2 Guardians movies only take place 3 months apart from one another.
Yes, that makes more sense.
I wish that they had made another one that took place like another 3 months later, or maybe just like the next day, something. Because I love the idea that you can sit down and watch the 2 Guardians movies apart from all the rest of the Marvel movies and know exactly what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Because I the MCU is very interesting about like how it's basically a show.
Yes.
Everything's tied together. It's a long running thing. But I do love the fact that I could sit down and watch the volumes 1 and 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy, and there is like the Thanos is in the first Guardians movie,
like for a second, right?
Or he's in it for like 2 scenes, but that works just as like
he looks silly.
He does look silly. He doesn't look great.
I wonder if they're gonna redo that.
I thought about that. That'd be kind of cool if they went back and just put in how he looks in Infinity War in that scene.
Or maybe people would gripe about it, like whatever his name is from
George
Star
Lucas.
Wars. Mr. Star Wars.
But I don't think so, because it'd look better. George Lucas put in special effects that suck. Speaking of Star Wars though. In Empire Strikes Back, there's like the scene where Darth Vader goes in and he talks to the Emperor,
Yeah.
but that's all that you see of the Emperor. So I feel like Thanos could have worked just as Ronan's boss. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to know that he's this end all be all villain. He's just Ronan's boss.
Yep.
And you only see him in those two scenes. So I think if they made a third one, then you'd have a trilogy of Guardians movies where you can just watch them. You can sit down, watch the 3 Guardians movies
As it should be.
and you don't have to see anything else in order to understand them. And then you get like a fun little, if you don't want to watch through all the Marvel movies, you get a fun little like sci-fi adventure trilogy of the same characters, same actors in the roles. And you can and if you wanted to, you just call it quits there.
Yeah.
I think
Instead, you're going to get a third movie that doesn't make any sense compared to the other 2.
Exactly, because you have to see Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Those 2 movies are great. But yes, it'd be nice to just be able to just watch the 3 Guardians movies and call it a day. So that's my number 3.
I understand that.
Do you agree?
I agree with that. That's probably the first one I agree with.
Oh. Number 2. The fact that they put out a Captain Marvel movie instead of the Black Widow movie. It sucks.
Wait, what?
So okay, so here.
Oh, they were going to do a Black Widow movie, and instead they did Captain Marvel.
No. What I'm saying is just like okay. You think we're Kevin Feige and the Marvel Studios right now, right? And we think okay. Because this is probably what they were thinking. We need a female-led superhero movie.
Yeah. Oh, let's do Captain Marvel.
Well, and they're thinking, we got to make her powerful because she has to have a big part in Endgame, which is laughable because she has hardly anything to do in Endgame.
So it's almost like they had to figure out what to do with her.
Yeah, the Russos, I don't think, knew what to do with her in Endgame. So it's like, okay. So you can either have that, you can shoehorn this character into this saga.
Yep.
At the very end, just so that you can say you have a powerful female superhero, right? Or you can say, let's take the female superhero that has been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Flesh out her character.
Who's, spoilers, going to die in this next movie.
Yeah.
And let's flesh her out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not undercut her death by releasing her movie right after the movie where she dies. I like, this baffles my mind that, because first off, you would have had your female-led superhero with a female that we actually like have grown to like and care about.
Yep.
And she's about to die, so let's beef up her character a little bit more before that happens. I literally can't imagine how hard they dropped the ball on that.
Okay. Here, call me Mr. Disney exec.
Okay, Mr.
Right,
Disney exec.
Call me real quick.
Oh, bling.
Hello, this is Mr. Disney executive.
Yeah.
Who is this?
This is Daniel Cardiff.
Oh, hello. I like how we're both using the phone with our fans.
With our fans, we don't even have cameras in the room, but we definitely are. Yeah. Why did you want me to call, sir?
Oh, I called you to call me because you see,
I'm mad at you.
I heard that you're going to kill the Black Widow. Is that the truth?
What?
You're going to kill the Black Widow?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, if you want to make some money, you need to everybody's going to miss the Black Widow, and nobody's going to give a rip about her before the movie when she doesn't die.
Yeah.
But they will after she dies.
But our Black Widow movie flopped.
Oh, it's because of COVID, not because of that.
I hung up the phone.
Oh.
Did you get to the bit that you wanted to get to?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. I didn't want to be mean and cut your bit off too soon.
Butthole.
But yes, it just makes so much sense to me. So much sense.
Story-wise, it makes total sense.
To do Black Widow instead of Captain Marvel. And then here's the thing. You could have done that. It would have been nice, concise storytelling, right?
Yes.
You release the Black Widow movie right before the movie where she dies, and we are even more sad when she dies.
Yeah.
I think it works as it, like...
It's still sad when she dies.
Her death is very sad in that movie, but it would have even done more so if we got a whole movie dedicated to her right before. And then at the end of Endgame, you have Captain America retire, right? Great ending for the Captain America character. He gives his shield off to Falcon. But it seems like space is becoming more of a priority.
Space is a place that they want to have.
Helpful hardware store.
Ace.
It seems like Nick Fury, because I think, what is it? I think it's the end of Far From Home. It shows Nick Fury up in space,
He's
right?
with the Skrullies.
Yeah. So what they should have done at the end of the Infinity Saga was kind of set up that they were making a Earthbound Avengers team and a Space Avengers team.
Yeah.
Wanted to take care of space stuff and wanted to take care of Earth stuff. I think is what the direction they should have gone after Endgame. Mm-hmm. So then what you do is Phase 4, instead of starting out with Black Widow, you start out with Captain Marvel there.
Yeah. And actually know what to do with her.
Have a whole new future to figure out with her, and then she can be the reason why she's called Captain Marvel. She can be the captain of the space side of the Avengers.
Space Aces.
The Space Aces. That's a good freaking name for a superhero team. The Space Aces. But wouldn't that have made a lot of sense?
It would have made a lot more sense than what is happening right now.
Yeah, and that's why she's called Captain Marvel, is because she's she's the new captain of that Avengers team, and then Sam is the Captain America. He's the captain of the Earthbound team. I don't know. Just put me in, coach.
Yep. Ring.
Oh yeah. Oh, hello.
It's me, the Disney exec.
Yep.
I'm putting you in.
Yes. I build a time machine and I'll go back and fix all this crap. Okay. And my number one. And I've actually done a Daniel's Thought Corner on this before.
Oh?
So if you have been paying attention, then you know what I'm about to talk about.
Let's see
if you...
I haven't. I have not, and you shall not ask me that question that you were thinking about asking me.
Now, here's the thing. I think if we were talking about, like, the actual missteps of the MCU, like, if I were saying, like, this is the biggest one, I would say probably that Black Widow one I just did.
Okay.
But me personally...
Okay.
Me as Daniel Cardiff, the one that I am most heartbroken over.
Yeah.
Is them killing off Quicksilver when they did.
Oh, yes. This should be an honorable mention.
No, this is my number one because if you don't remember, if you haven't heard my Daniel's Thought Corner, I think that's in the WandaVision episode.
I think so.
Go back, listen to my Thought Corner on it. I go through a whole, like, what I would have done if Quicksilver had lived past his Age of Ultron thing. But I'm going to combine two of my things right here and do a little interesting thing.
Whoa.
So, back in the mid-2000s, Philip, there were these animated movies that came out based on the Ultimate Avengers comics.
Okay.
And in the second one, there were two of them. In the second one, an Avenger dies.
Okay.
Got to heighten the stakes of a second movie, right? One of the main Avengers dies. Guess who it is?
Quicksilver.
No.
Oh. Tony Stark.
Mm-mm.
Black Widow.
Mm-mm.
Hulk.
Mm-mm.
Spider-Man.
Mm-mm. Give up?
No.
Okay. I guess there's only a finite amount of people that you can guess.
Ant-Man.
Yes. Yeah, it was Ant-Man. He dies.
Good.
So I think...
Frankie Pym?
Frankie Penn? Hank Pym.
Hanky Frankie
Penn Pym.
His middle name's Frank.
Hank Frank Pym.
Is Hank short for something?
Henry.
Good.
Henry Franklin Pym.
That's a good name, actually. Like, but when you shorten it, it's silly.
Hank Frank Pym.
But Henry Franklin is a good couple.
Nice child's name.
Yeah, maybe. Franklin does make me think of Arrested Development.
I forgot about Franklin. Best joke of the show. Best character of the show, honestly.
He's our number one
of the supporting characters. But yeah. Okay. Sorry. So what they should have done. This is what they should have done. If they, because you kind of need somebody to die in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Right. Quicksilver bit the bullet,
But he shouldn't have, because he didn't have any. Nobody gave a rip at that point.
I know. It's so it's another like mind-numbingly like baffling thing that happened. Why would you kill off somebody that you just introduced instead? Because they kind of are setting up that's going to be Hawkeye the whole movie. There's like a lot of foreshadowing, and then Quicksilver comes in and saves him. Now I'm not going to make it Hawkeye because I really love Hawkeye's stuff in Endgame.
Oh my goodness! Again, just trying to give it scratch.
I really love his stuff in Endgame, so I'm not gonna deprive us of that. Okay. But what I am gonna do is if Ant-Man and Wasp had been in it from the beginning.
Oh, actually kill Ant-Man?
I'm going to take a little page out of the Ultimate Marvel movie cartoon movies book.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to make Hank Pym. And again, if he was maybe Ultron was his idea.
So he should die.
And then Tony was kind of the one that figured it out. Yeah. So maybe they were both to blame for it. I think you make Hank die. The first Ant-Man die at the end of Age of Ultron.
Yep.
At the creation of his own, make him die. And I even think that would probably add to Tony's character development of like he lived. It was both their faults, but Tony was the one that didn't die. It was Hank.
All that guilt.
Yeah, but it would add more guilt to him. But yeah, make Ant-Man die. That's a character that we would have had for conceivably maybe 2 or 3 movies at that point in the saga if you had made him from the beginning. And then, since I don't want to take Paul Rudd out of the universe, then you bring in Scott Lang to kind of take up the mantle of the first Ant-Man because he's now dead.
Yeah.
And that way Quicksilver gets to live because I love Quicksilver and I would have liked to have seen him in more stuff. I really like the interpretation of it.
Maybe Scott Lang is Frank Pym, his brother, Frank and Hank.
Frank and Hank. It's his younger, more buffoonerish brother.
He got the good looks, but not the
good brains. Yeah. You know what's funny? I know I'm supposed to be talking about Quicksilver right now, but the first Ant-Man movie, he's pretty competent. He's like a thief and like and then they, for whatever reason, they make him dumber as the movies go along. I think it's because it's Paul Rudd and he's funny, but like but he's not a buffoon.
He's not a complete idiot.
It's more so like he's kind of just I don't even know what the right word would be. Aloof. Maybe he's a little aloof in the first one, but he still like has his wits about him.
Right.
But then they just really play into his dumbness, which is like, he wasn't dumb.
But it is funny.
It is funny. It's a really funny part, and his and Rocket's interactions and Endgame are really funny.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you could have kept him smart, but just compared to Rocket, he's an idiot. Yeah. Because Rocket's very smart. Anyways, back to Quicksilver. Love him. Big waste of potential. Should have kept him in at least until Endgame. Again, in my thought corner in that one episode, I said that he needed to live in order to, in Endgame when the mansion gets blown up.
Yeah. And
everyone just lives.
Yeah.
He should have saved everybody because he could run so fast and then gotten killed in the process of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that. I
think I've told you that a couple times.
Yeah.
But
you say it to me every day.
I text it to you all the time.
Just write out the entire plot. Like one text like every 20 minutes.
I just have it. I have it saved in my notes. So I just copy and paste it every day and send it to you. But yeah, no, I just think that was such a dumb move, such a big misstep on their behalf to kill him off so quickly.
Spoiler alerts for the new what's the movie that just came out?
Doctor Strange.
Thank you.
Yep.
I would have thought that maybe they're gonna bring back her brother.
They should have.
And then they didn't. And they killed her. So they can't. So they have no reason to bring him back now. There's like just zero chance that he's coming.
I think they'll bring her back somehow.
Yeah, she should probably be in some sort of demon universe. Is my guess.
What I hope they kind of do with Wanda's character is I hope that either if it's the multiverse saga or if they're even going to do another saga after this one, whatever the threat is, they like need her somehow.
Yeah.
So either Doctor Strange like ventures into the demon realm or something and gets her or something like that. But then she kind of redeems herself through that movie. And then they find a universe where like Wanda is either dead or in a coma or something.
Yeah.
And kind of put her in so she gets a happy ending. And maybe it's like with her kids and her husband's Vision.
Be wild.
And maybe her brother's still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like maybe they're all depowered. Maybe it's like a alternate universe where superpowers don't exist.
They're just regulars.
They're just regulars, so they just kind of plop her in there. They're like, there. Like, we're just going to leave you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to, like, take away your power and just leave you as a normal person here in this universe, and we never have to bother with you ever again and leave. Because I think, like, you know, she's done some horrible things, but I would like for her to get a happy ending.
Yeah.
She's, like, the most interesting female character that they have.
Well, she redeemed herself at the end.
She does, kind of.
She knows what she did was wrong.
Yes, yeah. Also, have you? I know we're probably going a little long here, but the screenwriters of Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness have come out and said that the universe that they travel to with the Illuminati,
It's like a jacked up universe.
it's like what's it called?
A police state.
A police state, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, they're actually kind of villainous.
Yeah.
Which makes like when she murders them, it's like okay,
Yep. That's all right.
that's okay.
I wonder if that was.
Intentional.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. I wish they had actually gone into that though.
Yeah. It would have been better.
Also, I think, well, maybe we'll talk about that movie at some point. But anyways, so yeah, so number one, Quicksilver died too quickly. No pun
Number
intended.
0.
No pun intended. He died too quickly.
More ponytail on Doctor Strange.
That's it. You can do your missteps of Phase 4 next week, maybe. They would all just be the Eternals.
It's just everyone is eternal. Man. Okay.
Cool.
Well, I like that.
Do you
I like
agree with
this.
everything I just said?
110%. You got it. Dance, baby. Dance.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's call it a night.
Are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah. You have anything to say?
No.
Neither do I.
I have something to say.
Oh, what is it?
I have something to say to the listeners.
Okay.
Not
say
to
it.
you.
Okay.
Not to you.
It's okay.
You're the best, and we're the best.
You can never be perfect, but you can always be better.
We
love
you.
I'm going to drink.